Welcome to Inside Marketing with MarketSurge, your front row seat to the boldest ideas and smartest strategies in the marketing game. Your host is Reed Hansen, Chief Growth Officer at MarketSurge.
Hello and welcome back to Inside Marketing with MarketSurge. And today we've got a powerhouse in the world of law and business. That's Matt Hines. He's not just the founder of one of Georgia's most recognized personal injury law firms, Hines Law, but also a serial entrepreneur, marketing mind, and leader who scaled a high-trust service business in a competitive market. From starting his firm in 2004 to now running multiple locations with a massive client base, Matt's built more than just a practice. He's built a brand. Today we're going behind the scenes, how he markets, how he leads, and how he keeps growing in a space where trust is everything. Buckle up, this one's not just for lawyers, it's for anyone building a business that needs to stand out and scale smart. Let's go. Welcome, Matt.
Wow. Thank you very much, Reed. It's a pleasure to be here, man. That's a hell of an introduction. I'm impressed. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Well, thanks. I had a little assistance.
That's good stuff.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on. And, I know you're a great host of your own podcast as well. I didn't mention that. And you were kind enough to have me on, so I wanted to do it right.
I'm glad to be.
So you've been running your firm since 2004. Can you take us back to the beginning and how you decided that you wanted to go and build your own firm rather than work for somebody else?
Sure, man. So I graduated law school at 2004, like you said. I had actually started the LLC and formed the company before I passed the bar. And at first I got into law because I thought law would make me a better businessman. Because if I knew legal consequences, then I could make a better business decision, whether it was contract or purchasing companies, whatever. That was my logic. And when I got into law school, I liked the law, and I realized the law gave me a trade that I could use on my own. I could start my own company and build that rather than going to work for a large company, which I thought about doing. My dad had done it successfully, and I guess I'll do that. That was just kind of the default result. But I wasn't passionate about it. It was just, I guess I'll go into business. And so I'd say second or third year law school, I did a 4-year law program. It's normally 3. I did 4 because I did an MBA and law combined program. And I like that independence. I wanted to grow something. And yeah, I guess it all made sense. I like the entrepreneurial aspect. I like the law, that knowledge itself. So it was a good combination. So that's how it all started.
Yeah.
Back before.
Well, and that TEL might be the MBA and the JD. Combination. I have met a few that have done that route, and a lot of them have built some great businesses. Now, when you were starting out, what were some of your biggest challenges? Was it getting the clients, getting your operations right? Were there challenges around branding and name recognition? What would you say that was the biggest challenge?
That's a good question. My biggest challenge at first was getting clients. Yeah. I'm from South Carolina originally, and I had started the practice in Georgia, where I went to law school. And I didn't have all my parents' friends and my buddies from high school that I could just sort of really open the floodgates and let them all start calling. Right. I really didn't know anybody. So I knew I had to just get out and create some sort of a name. So I was on the phone a lot. I was having lunches a lot. I was waking up on the weekends and putting up little stake signs all over the highways. I was doing anything I could to get the name out. And I had a routine down. I'd know when the city would come by and clean up all my signs. So I knew when to go back out and stick them back up again. But I was doing any sort of cheap marketing because I did not have money for Google. I didn't have money certainly for commercials and billboards and all that. That was a long off. So getting clients was my problem, and I was broke. The first year and a half or so was hard. I'd love to say it was so exciting, and every day I woke up and was just so anxious for that kill or what. No, I was scared.
Yeah.
I was scared most of the time. I was broke. I was scared. I did not want to go back to my parents and tell them that I failed.
Yeah.
I had that freaking gnawing fear because my mom was like, why don't you just work for somebody for a while, man? And there's logic in that. But I was nowhere near that in my mind. That to me would have been like going to prison or something. It was just not enough. So I was not interested. I would have rather fail on my own. That's how I was thinking then. So yeah, getting clients and just having enough money to build the practice at first was bad. And I had a few guys that I met, and one was a financial advisor, and he'd send me wills. And that's a very easy, it's not expensive, but it's important for people, and I could do it because when I got out, law school is like most schools. When you get out, you don't know anything.
Right.
You get a degree on a piece of paper, but you don't know shit. Excuse my language. The MBA is the same. You'd think a master's in business administration would be just master business, but they don't.
Right.
So it was a lot of just going out, experimenting, and seeing what worked, and then doing more of that. 3 or 4 people who just, I don't know if they felt bad for me, but they supported me. And they would call me up happy that they had something to send to me because they knew I was hungry and desperate. So, yeah, that was the struggle at first. And then about 2 years into it, we hit the real estate sort of boom. That was back before the 2008 crash. And real estate was big because that subprime market that we've probably seen movies about and all that crashed, that was when it was just taking off. And real estate closings were everywhere.
Mm.
And we hit that and we grew fast. Within like a year and a half, I went from one little office in a closet, really, to almost the entire floor of an office building.
Wow.
And that sounds like, wow, Matt, that's great. But it was stressful.
Mm.
It was because I made that mistake. I don't know if you've been there, Reed, where I had one main client that was like 95% of my business and 5% these other little random ones. And that one client was finicky and they could change quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I was completely dependent on them. And then that day came where they fired me and I was flying high and then I crashed hard. We actually went in bankruptcy in 2008.
Mm.
So a lot of learning packed into a little bit of time.
Yeah.
To do because I knew when I got out, I was ambitious, but I did not have the management or legal skill to really do it. I didn't know how to manage people. I didn't know how to set targets. I didn't know how to run an office. I didn't know how to organize it. I just knew more money seemed to be the right thing. And I was just going, we weren't illegal or anything, but I didn't have a good process, man.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I've actually been in that situation at a previous agency where an executive, and fortunately this wasn't my client, but we, same thing. The rug got pulled out from underneath us. We'd invested in a commercial property that, we were building it to grow. And so we occupied about a third of the space we were renting. And momentarily we were all of a sudden out, about 40% of our business and, trying to figure that out. So it's, that's a real problem. Things as you're thinking about growing your business, one is, you are a lawyer, but you're also leading a business. How do you balance doing the law work and leading the business? Where do you make decisions about where do I delegate? Where do I hire other attorneys? What's the decision-making process there?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question too, man. At first, like right now, I am mainly involved in management and marketing. That's where my energy is focused in this company. At first, I did everything, of course, because that's how it is. I'm the only person. Mm-hmm. And then I got help in the legal department, which is preparing files and stuff. And I hired a marketing person that was full-time marketer. Female, good talker, pretty, and she went around. She's a really good girl. And she'd go around and to create interest for our company, and she'd set up lunches and stuff for me and that. So those are the two main areas in the company that I needed to focus on the most was the delivery of the service and the marketing and promotion. And then there's other areas as the company grows, there's different deficiencies and weaknesses based on its size. I don't know if you've seen that or agree with that, but for me, the first hurdle was marketing. And so I hired to help in that area so that I could be the attorney more. And because at first you go market and then you get some interest from clients and then you go deliver the service, but you stop marketing and you got to do this balancing back and forth thing that's tough. But that's just how it is in the beginning when you're doing your own company. So I hired to help in the marketing, and that was great. That was a successful move because she was great. She was successful, made a lot of good contacts for us, and I could then jump back and forth, but keep each one moving.
And I like what I hear too, and I think this is a common thread in a lot of very successful businesses I've seen, is that you start out with trying to meet people and reach people directly. You were making contacts, making individual meetings. I think a lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake of, well, here, let me throw a lot of money at in channels where I won't have to interact with people. It's like, let me just put out ads. And I think that's hard as an unknown. And I do think businesses remain successful as they have very active leaders, active salespeople that are talking directly to people rather than kind of delegating it to a channel. Tell me about what have been the most successful marketing efforts you've engaged in. I think you've described a few, but have there been any particular approaches that have worked for you from a marketing standpoint?
Right now, it is personal contact, like you said. We have a sales team of about 10 people,
Okay.
and they're going out and meeting, and I go out and meet some, but they are mainly just out in the community, creating contacts and redirecting attention back to our firm. That's one. And right now, social media has been very good for us too. But it's funny, like I was talking to one of our consultants the other day. He's like, Matt, anything will work if you just do it really hard. And he's got a client who kills it, TikTok alone. TikTok, but a
Wow.
massive TikTok button, not like $1,000, more like 100,000.
Wow.
And another guy's just killing it on Meta, and then another guy's killing it on Google, and that's like all they do. Another guy's killing it on radio.
Mm.
And I'm not saying that's the truth or not, but I mean, I think we've really gone all out on those areas of sales team and direct contact and social media, and then we dabble with Google and some others. I keep telling myself I'm going to do more in Google, but I haven't yet. But yeah, there's those two. And historically, it has been, like you said, going out and meeting. Whether it was me or me and my sales team, that's been our best.
Okay.
Since the beginning, that has helped us grow consistently.
Well, I'm a big believer in that, and though I run a digital marketing agency, I just don't think it's quite complete without the networking. Matt, I'm also curious. You had me on your podcast, which was fantastic. You do such a great job with production and prep. How has that impacted your business? Do you feel like that's been an effective channel for you? What would you say to others that are exploring a podcast for their business?
It's been all right. So I'm still young.
Yeah.
I don't have like 5 years of experience to compare my numbers and how we've grown and that kind of thing. Um, I will say this: doing podcast and interviewing and meeting people has been so much more fun than I imagined it would be. I didn't realize how fun it was,
Yeah.
because some things you just do because they're going to help the company.
Right.
They're not necessarily fun. The podcast has been a lot of fun, but I do have, I think, brand recognition. It does not get me direct leads, but brand recognition, name recognition. We put these clips all over our law firm Facebook and my personal Facebook and Meta and all, Instagram and TikTok. And so we use it to promote my name and the company's name. And I do believe that's been successful.
Okay.
I would recommend everybody to do. I think a lot of people do have podcasts these days, but I'm a big fan of podcasts. I think it's helped our company.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and especially your point of it has not yielded direct leads for me. I thought maybe it would at the beginning, like I'd tap into these niche audiences. That really hasn't been the case, but it has been pretty effective at helping recast myself and my team as consultants. People we can bounce ideas off of, have interesting discussions, bring creativity to some of these engagements. And with many of my clients, we've turned these into opportunities for additional work together. And, so the value has been kind of like recasting us. And, I think it's been really great. So, when we're talking about like high touch marketing channels, I'm curious, especially from your perspective running a law firm, how is AI affecting your business? And then we'll talk about the marketing in a second, but how is it affecting what you're doing? Are you seeing people weighing hiring somebody like you or your firm against, can I just AI generate my will, or can I just have my questions answered by Chat GPT? Are you seeing much of that, or is that still a ways away?
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay.
I think the ways away, like our market, I don't think is inclined to do the AI. We work a lot with the Hispanic community, and they like to have somebody that they trust dealing with their legal issues and all.
Mm.
So I don't think they would be comfortable negotiating with an insurance company just based on what ChatGPT told them.
Yeah.
So we're kind of lucky in that area. The white market might be leaning to that, but honestly, man, we've been worried about it, to
Mm-hmm.
be frank, but I have not seen a big reduction. AI, I'm a big fan of AI. I think AI is fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, we're exploring AI in every division within our company. We're doing something, either assisting us or replacing something. And we've done it successfully. For instance, I'll say one, I won't get too technical, but we draft what's called demand letters.
Mm.
And I don't have to go into detail for you to understand
Oh,
the
sure.
purpose of this.
On the
So we,
receiving end of demand letters, so I know what
yeah.
you're talking about.
All right. So it's a letter to an insurance company. And
Yeah.
it details a lot about what happened to the client, the injuries, the cost, and what we're demanding, kind of how to settle the case. Our target used to be 40 a week, and we struggled to get that. And we had numerous people doing that in that demand writing department. And we then started using an AI, and you could do like 60 in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
So that's one example of where it worked really well. Another example, though, is we tried to do it on some marketing, and it's like it doesn't quite do it. It's like AI almost gets it, but not quite. It's not good enough
Yeah.
to just replace it. So um, I see we see that a lot. Kind of, I call it the 80% rule. It's like AI can do it about 80%,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't do it quite good enough to just replace what you were doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Well,
say it will future, and I don't necessarily want it to certain purpose. I'll say me personally, I've gone on Chat GPT and drawn up contracts on my own, whereas earlier I would have gone to an attorney.
okay.
So I think there's different areas of law that can more easily be replaced. I don't think all attorneys are going to be replaced at all.
No.
You need that certainty.
Yeah.
you, um, you when you actually are representing a document to another company and you have no idea if that document says what it really needs to say, that's kind of risky.
Yeah. Well, I guess my hope is, as a non-lawyer, but often client of lawyers, that AI might somehow enable some of these processes when they go to court to speed up, or
Yeah.
if that's at all a possibility, that would, I think, make everybody's lives a lot better. But
Yeah.
like reviewing or something, whatever, wherever it can fit. So I think that's a great example of where AI may fit and where it doesn't. I just, as an observation, Matt, I could see how your brand really thrives on like your personality, your gregariousness, and I don't think any way you could replace that with AI. I've been using AI content, but mostly I keep it somewhat under the radar, create some helpful guides, things like that. But I'm mostly doing it to satisfy the algorithms, let the robots talk to the algorithms and do that because I understand the frequency that these algorithms really like, whether it's for Google's search or even getting ranked in these LLMs. And so I use it mostly for quantity, not for quality. And that's been my approach. You just can't replace having your face on the content or having your real voice on it.
That's right. I agree.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. When you need quantity, AI is good. Quality, it's not there yet.
Right.
We've got, God love, we have a lot of people that we hire and train to make sure they give great customer service.
Yeah.
It would be great. There's AI software right now that will talk to clients.
Yeah.
And we've tested about 3 different ones. And it's like, no, it kind of, again, it takes it about 85% there. But that last 15% makes us look bad. And I just,
Yeah.
do it yet.
I agree completely. We have a system that unknown callers are answered by our voice AI. And if they're known to us, they'll be directed directly to us. But the unknown callers, 99.999% of the time, are robocallers. It is funny. We'll get a transcript. It's robots talking to robots.
Oh, that's
just
this.
they go back and forth, and sometimes the one won't recognize the other. It's quite entertaining.
I'm with you there. We use that too. And for after-hour phone answering, we have AI and all. But just to replace client communication, AI is not there yet. It's just some things you really need a human.
Yeah.
I was working with, they helped out in Airbnb management, something like that. All they did was AI. You could tell they were a numbers company. They did not care about customer service. I was their customer at the time, and they did not care. It was all AI. If you called, you talked to an AI bot. And it's frustrating. AI is not there yet.
Yeah.
Thankfully, because once it gets there, I don't know. It is going to be a game changer. Or
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have the big AI fear that a lot of people are pushing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm naive, but I don't know.
No, I'm mostly optimistic, and I recognize the limitations. I think I needed to spend some time with it and try a lot of things to feel that degree of confidence. But it feels like, as much as it's improving, that gap between like real human empathy and robotic precision it's just so vast. Like, it can make exponential improvements, and it'll still be really far away from feeling like it's something I can relate to. I really feel heard. But that's worth.
I did a company had sent us about a 30-page contract.
Oh wow.
Ran it through ChatGPT, attached it, and said, "Can you tell me where this contract is weak and is in favor of the blah blah blah?" That was awesome.
Yeah.
Now, that would probably be a 3 or 4 hour attorney job that might cost, I don't know, $2,500.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Right.
ChatGPT spit out the most beautiful analysis.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Yeah. And I could totally envision that, it's data parsing capabilities and analytical things. I think that's a great use case. Well, Matt, one last question. If you were, say in 2025 today, say you have your full knowledge from all your experience building your business, but you were asked to start over, what would you do? Would you do anything differently than you've done? Are there particular channels that you see are more relevant now than they were? Or how would you approach building a firm from scratch?
I don't know that I'd have done anything different other than just doing more of what I was doing, market a little bit harder, do more of it. I remember when I started off, I would set targets for myself. Like, I need to see this many people each week and this many lunches this week. And starting a company's hard.
Yeah.
And it takes, you think that it's like X amount of effort needed to achieve this result. And it's like 10 times or 50 times that amount of effort. And it just takes longer, and it takes more money, and it takes more blood, sweat, and tears than you originally thought. So I don't know. We were doing a podcast one time, and I said, "So what's your advice?" This was an entrepreneur, very successful.
Yeah.
"What's your advice to everybody?" And he said, "Just stay busy." It wasn't like save your money or spend more on marketing or hire the right people or blah, 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 blah. Maybe all that's important. But his advice was stay busy, stay in action. And I could not agree more. Just go, 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 go.
Yeah.
And maybe I could have gone faster than I did. But I don't know that I would change my approach any.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's great to hear. And, love to hear that there are principles that are enduring in spite of the technology changes and the other economic changes we've seen. So I am really encouraged to hear that. Matt, it's great to hear your expertise, and I think you're so impressive. The firm you've built and the podcast you have. If people would like to work with you, or maybe have you as a podcast guest or consult with you, what are the best places to reach you at?
All right, thanks, Reed. The law firm website is hineslaw.org. So somebody up in Michigan got my .law, HINESLAW.org. That's just our law firm website. Hines on Air, HINESONAIR. That's the name of our podcast. Love to have you listen there and comment. But that would be a good place to get in touch with us.
Matt, I look forward to future conversations. You've been fantastic to collaborate with, and I think we've learned a lot.
All right, well, listen, it's an honor to be on your program, man. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Want to stay ahead of what's actually working in marketing right now? Head over to MarketSurge.io and see how we're helping businesses grow smarter, faster, and louder. That's MarketSurge.io, because your next breakthrough shouldn't be a guess.